No, welcome to her last podcast. With the shit that I'm about to say, probably should be my last podcast, but I am willing to say all the shit and give you the realest, rawest, truest information. With the things that I'm about to tell you, girls, I am about to raw dog your shit, doggy style. And I'm coming inside your shit so that I can alter your brain chemistry, so that you can start to think and behave like the woman that makes fuck you money and what? Does whatever the fuck she wants to do. You see, I can have my brain tread off into many different directions because I make a lot of fucking money. And by the end of the season, you will too. If you listen to the shit that I'm about to tell you, you will too. So yes, will I get canceled? Probably. And I'll probably come back and get canceled over and over and over again. But it's okay, because at least you're gonna fucking learn something today. Now, before we get into the controversial topics, I think it's very important that you guys know who you are listening to and why my brain is wired the way that I am. So my name is Alexis Mai. By the time you are listening to this, I am 26 years old. It's my fucking birthday. Tell me happy birthday. Go to the comments and finger the fucking like button and say, happy birthday, Alexis. Thank you so much. So I am a 26-year-old entrepreneur, girlfriend, boss babe, sister, daughter, soon to be wife, soon to be fiance. And in my time here on earth, I've done a couple of things. So for the last several years, I've been a remote closer. In my first 6 months of closing, I actually cash collected over $1 million in 6 months. Yeah. You know another bitch that's done that? Probably not. Now you do. Not only that, but I have actually been a speaker at multiple marketing conferences. I'm over here being fucking, what is that word? I'm being humble. I was a speaker at Funnel Hacking Live International. And if you don't know what that is, that's fine. It's a marketing conference for nerds that make a fuck ton of money. And since then, I have actually created an academy with over 5,000 women where I train them on how to make a lot of money in sales. So if you are listening to this podcast and you are a woman, you have a vagina hole, and you want to make a lot of money, this is the spot that you need to go. This is your G spot. I'm going to make sure that I really hit it here, okay? And now I am the host of her last podcast. But before I even got to this point, there was a lot of shit that I had to go through. Like, things weren't always just butterflies and rainbows my whole life. No, I got like dragged through the mud. I got bitch slapped. Actually, that happened. I've gotten bitch slapped before. I've gotten bitch slapped. I've gotten dragged through the mud. I've gotten, raw dog fucked. And because of all those experiences that I had to undergo, that is what led me to being the woman that I am today. And so I'm excited to share with you guys my story, just because I know for a fact that you are going to find yourself as a character in this story, because it's not just my story. It's your story. It's a lot of other women's stories out there. And so my mom had me at the age of 17. Yes, she was a little whore at the age of 17, had me. And then 3 years later had my brother, okay? And after she had me and my brother, she was forced to marry my father. We're Asian. It was an arranged marriage, okay? And with my father, she was very submissive. I mean, she was 17 years old at the time. She was kind of submissive towards everybody, because it's like, what do you do when you're 17? And so with my dad, he took advantage of her just because he knew that like she could not do anything without him. He knew that she needed his money, needed his family, needed everything, because again, had 2 kids at the age of 20 years old, right? Like, who the fuck else is gonna want that vagina? Nobody. Actually, wait for it, somebody else did. But my mom stayed with him for so long because she needed to. She relied on him. And fun fact, my dad cheated on her. He physically abused her. And there was this one time, it was actually the night that we ended up leaving. my family owned a nail salon, okay? Yeah, like I said, I'm Asian. You could probably kind of guess what Asian I am now. My family owned a fucking nail salon. Fuck you guys. And I was at the nail salon and I was 3 years old. And it's so crazy how memory sticks with you whenever you go through trauma. Like, ask me what I did yesterday, I have no idea. But ask me what happened when I was 3 years old, I'll fucking tell you. So my mom tells me, Alexis, go to the back room, don't come out. And I'm like, okay. So I go and I head to the back room, and all of a sudden I just hear glass breaking, shit's breaking. And I peek my head out, and my mom and my dad are like physically fighting. And this was finally when my mom grew some balls and left my dad. She probably would have left him a lot sooner had she had her own money, but she couldn't. And the fight that they had was, she told him she was leaving, and he's like, don't take the car, don't take the house. Like, obviously she didn't own anything. Nothing was hers. She didn't even own the money that was in her bank account. So the only thing that she left with was me and my brother. And we left that nail salon and walked to where my brother was, because he was with his nanny. And we were walking on the side of the road. And another woman who my mom had just done her nails, she had just left the nail salon. That woman saw us walking on the side of the road and stopped the car and asked my mom, what's going on? Where are you going? Let me take you. And you see, like, a man would not have done that. If a man had done that, we probably would have gotten our shit rocked. But the very fact that another woman extended her hand to a woman and her child in need, that is why I love women. And that is why girl power is always going to be the strongest power, right next to love. So my mom's client ended up taking me and my mom to go and grab my brother, and we left him. We left the city of Mississippi, went to Atlanta, never looked back. We got to Atlanta, and she immediately met my stepfather. And you would think, like, a 20-year-old with 2 kids, who was gonna love her? My stepdad did. And that's actually the man that raised me. Love him with my whole entire heart. Super smart guy. He gave me the life that I didn't think that I could have, coming from a broken family. And with my stepdad, my mom had my 2 sisters, so my half sisters. And we lived a really good life. We lived a white picket fence life. My sisters were super happy. I was super happy. My brother was super happy. We did everything. Sorry, I'm burping because of the champagne. That's disgusting. Not as disgusting as some things. But back to what I was saying. I lived a really good life up until I was 23 years old. And just to give you some context, so another man came to our Savior. We lived in our dream home. We lived in a 5-bedroom home in suburbia. I was a cheerleader. I did all of the extracurricular things in school. I went to college, joined a sorority. I was a regular ass girl, okay? And it wasn't until the summer of 2023 when my mom and my stepdad separated. And I see my entire life like crash right in front of my fucking eyes. Not only was my mom going through a divorce, but I was going through a breakup. I was with a guy for 8 years, a guy that was actually going to propose to me later that year in December of 2023. And he broke up with me on May 29th of 2023. So imagine that. Like, imagine living this perfect life. I had the perfect boyfriend. I had the perfect family. I had the perfect everything. And then all of a sudden, shit hits the fucking fan. And my mom almost goes homeless. I almost go homeless. And it was in that moment that I decided no man is ever going to be able to control me. Because up until this point, I had depended on a man. And now I had to become that man. And so a lot of what I'm going to be talking to you guys about stems from my experiences, because obviously I can only talk about what I have experienced and what I'm sure a lot of you guys are currently living as well. And do I wish that on anybody? Absolutely not. But sometimes shit has to hit the fan and shit has to fall all the way down to rock bottom so that you can realize that you can get out of this shit on your own, and you absolutely can. If I can, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do the exact same. And that is why I am so passionate about helping the girlies get it on their own. make it on their own, do everything on their own, make their bag, make their bed, I don't fucking know, make everything, because you were placed on this earth with a purpose. It was not to suck a man's dick all day long. Okay, babe? You were placed on this earth to follow your dreams, chase your passions, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Fuck what everybody else says about it. Do you. And so that leads me into my first topic that I want to talk about. And that is, should you marry rich or become rich? Now, you're probably up until this point thinking, okay, of course I know what Alexis is going to say. She's going to say become rich. Wrong. Why the fuck can't you do both? Why can't you marry a rich motherfucker and be a rich motherfucker? There's absolutely no reason why you can't have your cake and eat it too. For the people that said that that's not a thing, watch me, bitch, because I've done it. I'm not married yet, but I am in the process. Should you marry rich or become rich? The answer is both. But no, I'm so sick and tired of like scrolling on social media and I just see, you know, all the Pilates princess pretty girls talking about, oh, I don't even know what the bills look like. Like, I don't care. Like, I just want to get my nails done. I just want to get my toes sucked. Like, the man can pay the bills. I don't want to know anything. I want to be completely oblivious to everything. Babe, if you don't want to fucking know what bills he's paying, I can almost guarantee you he is paying another bitch's Amex. You don't want to know what the bills look like, bitch? He's paying another bitch's Amex. And that's your fucking fault for wanting to be ignorant. And that is why I say you need to become rich as well. There's absolutely no issue with wanting to marry a rich man. Me, having my own money, you think I'm gonna be with the fucking fat-tard loser? Absolutely not. I'm also going to want someone shredded. I'm also going to want somebody with his own money. But it's because I can demand those things because I have those things. But whenever you girls sit here talking about your dream man, oh, he's fit, he loves his mother, he loves sucking toes, he loves eating ass, he makes a lot of money, and then you don't reflect those exact same things, it makes you a hypocrite. How are you going to want a man with a six-pack when you don't even get your ass up in the gym? Hate to break it to you girls, but you reflect who you are. And so if you are a lazy fuck sitting on the couch all day long, scrolling on TikTok reels and IG reels and all this shit, fucking FaceTiming your best friend all day, what makes you think a man with money and a man with ambition would want to be with you? See, this is the raw truth that you guys weren't ever told. This is the raw truth that you need to hear. Because yes, baby, I think that you do deserve the world. I think you deserve it all. But until you have it all, until you are the woman that you want to be, you don't deserve it. You deserve exactly who you are. And that is why you keep attracting these fucking lame losers. And so if you are attracting loser after loser after loser, look in the mirror. Ooh, right there. Boom, canceled in her last podcast. No, but seriously, look in the mirror. And I feel like I can say this because I've talked a lot about who I am. You guys know who I am. Let me tell you guys about my partner, my other half, the person who I am his rib. So my boyfriend, he is a multi-8-figure entrepreneur. He owns several businesses, several different SaaS companies. He's the shit, okay? He is the absolute shit, and his shit don't stink. Actually, it does sometimes, but he's amazing. And I've actually known my boyfriend since I was 16 years old. But when I was 16 years old, he didn't fucking like me. When I was 17, 18, 19, 20, when I was a shit show, he did not like me. I actually began interning for him, doing random things for him. And at that time, he didn't like me either. You know, whenever he started becoming attracted to me was whenever he saw me working for his friend, chasing my purpose, chasing my dreams, chasing my goals. instead of chasing dick. That's whenever he decided that he liked me, was because I wasn't focused on what all these other people were doing. I was focused on me, and I was focused on where I was going. And so if you are in a season of your life right now where you're trying to find the one, you're not going to. Because the one only comes to you when you are motherfucking number one. Okay, bitch? And so before you start getting on Raya, Tinder, all that shit, instead of having to fabricate your profile, maybe just do some cool shit and be a cool girl. And then you don't have to lie about who it is that you are and then attract all these fucking liars. And then you're sitting in your bedroom crying, talking about the man that I'm with, he fucking lied. Well, of course, bitch, you lied too. And you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to your friends, and you're lying to your family. But most importantly, you are lying to yourself. And so date a rich man, be a rich woman, do fucking both. For those of you guys that are listening to this podcast, and you're listening, you can't see anything. I actually have a peanut gallery over to my left, and I like that term, peanut gallery. No, but I have my head of marketing and my head of sales right next to me, and the reason I have them right here listening to this podcast is, well, number one, my head of marketing, he has to, sign off on all the shit that I be saying. But also because I like words of affirmation, and I am a whore for words of affirmation. And so they're over here hyping me up and shit. But my head of marketing, he just asked a question, and he said, why would I chase? Wait, what did you say? He said, why would I chase when women don't run from the men they want? And ladies, this is another thing. Whenever you are so caught up in just finding a rich man before you become that rich woman, whenever you are so caught up in trying to please everybody and satisfy everybody, you know what happens? You end up self-sabotaging. And you end up self-sabotaging because you don't know who you are. You don't know what you stand for. So whenever he asks, why would I chase a girl when women don't run from the men that they want? He's talking about the women that know what they want and that are allowed to want what they want because they are the woman that they actually want to be. Before you decide what kind of man you want in your life, you need to decide what kind of woman you are going to be. And that is going to be what prevents you from self-sabotaging and running from the man of your dreams. And I also can speak to my experience with this as well. My boyfriend, my current boyfriend, he first told me he liked me back in 2023. And you know what I did? I was like, oh my gosh, I like you too. And then immediately went on a date with another guy. Sorry, babe. And you know why I did that? Despite being absolutely head over heels for my current boyfriend, his name is Will. If you follow me on Instagram, you fucking know his name is Will. Will changed lives, motherfucker. That motherfucker changed my life for sure. But the reason why, he told me he liked me, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I fucking like you too. And then immediately went on a date with another guy is because I self-sabotaged. Up until that point, I hadn't fully stepped into the woman that I wanted to be. It's at that point, I was, making money. I was already closing for him, and I already made well over 10, 20K a month. But I still wasn't the woman that I wanted to be in every other area. It's I made decent money at the time. I say that now because it's that feels like minimum wage at this point. But I made decent money at the time, and the issue was I wasn't who I wanted to be in every other area. I wasn't where I wanted to be physically, fitness wise. And so whenever he told me that, I immediately self-sabotaged and went on a date with another dude. And after he found out that I went on a date with another dude, the motherfucker started spiraling. So then I started spiraling. So then I moved to Miami, and then I started going on a bunch of dates with other dudes. And then he had to come and chase me, but he didn't come until a year later. And so I say that because you could save yourself all the heartbreak And you could save yourself all the times of sitting on the couch, crying, fucking eating Ben and Jerry's, like watching all these love movies and romances if you just focus on one thing for the time being, and that is yourself. So until you become the girl that you want to be, until you have that body that you want to have, until you have that bank account that you want to have, or at least until you're well into developing all of those things, then that is whenever the man of your dreams will appear in your life. But other than that, you're going to keep on dreaming, babe. Stop. So the reason why I say that you should become rich first and you should be that woman that you want first is because whenever you do that and you focus on yourself first, now it's no longer about seeing a man or dating a man that has money and being with the man that you have to be with. And it's not that you need to be with him, but it's that you want to be with him. You aren't going to be impressed with all these other ancillary things because you can afford those things. So now you look to him for things that money can't buy, like safety, like leadership, like mentorship. You look to him for the ways that he can lead you outside of making money. And if he makes more money than you, guess what, bitch? He will also lead you to the bag. So I'm not saying completely disregard him having a bag or not, but I am saying that once you make your own money, you could fuck with the man that you want, not the man that you need. Being rich is not about flexing. It's not about flexing what you have, the materials that you have, the experiences that you can do. But like whenever you are rich on your own as a woman, you are not going to tolerate bullshit. So on your first date with the man, and he takes you to fucking Moxie's here in Miami and Brickell, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Because you have your own money. You could fucking afford Moxie's on your fucking own. Why in the world would that impress me? When you have money on your own, you won't be impressed that he's ordering caviar and then he's ordering 1942. I don't give a fuck, bro. This is Miami. I'm a girl. Everything's free anyway. And so you want to fuck with the men that you just want to be with because of their energy, because of who they are, because they love their mother. And you will be way better off with men like that versus men that have to buy your affection. Men that have to buy affection, men that have to pay hookers, men that have to pay whores to suck dick, they're going to die alone. And you're not a whore. And you're not a hooker. So don't tolerate that bullshit. He took you on one date, babe. You are not don't, just because, and I wish all girls knew this because I've heard fucking stories. Just because a guy takes you on a date does not mean you owe him shit. You can afford your own nice meal. You can afford your own Uber Black XL. You don't need to fucking suck his dick or even give him a kiss. And that is why you make your own money, babe. So that you can walk away from that date doing whatever the fuck you want because you're already doing whatever the fuck you wanted anyway. So you become rich first. And then you will marry rich. If you don't want to be the girl that gets cheated on, if you don't want to be the girl that gets that is a second option, listen to this right here. Because the girls that get cheated on are the ones who do not know how to make money on their own. And because you don't know how to make money on your own, he now feels like he has control over you and that you need him. So then he's going to treat you however the fuck he wants to treat you. If he wants to cheat on you, if he wants to slap your shit, if he wants to fucking knock you into the next week, he will. Because he knows at the end of the day that he is your lifeline because you don't know how to make your own money. And then you're over here talking about, well, I would rather cry in a Rolls Royce than in a Honda Civic, Alexis. What if I told you that you can cry in a Rolls Royce? What if I told you that you can afford your own fucking Rolls Royce to drive up out of that toxic situation, but you are not listening? And that is why you are on this podcast, so that you can learn how to do that so that you don't have to be slapped around silly, so that you don't get cheated on, so that you can build a life that you want on your terms. That's why you're here, and that's why I'm talking to you. So yes, become the rich man and then marry the rich man. And the reason why you should still marry a man who ladies, the reason why you should marry a man that has money is because this is going to be the man that raises your kids. This is going to be the man whose values are pushed upon your children. And a man who has money, a man who has worked for that money, they have worked the muscle, they have built the skill, they have gone through trial and tribulation to have acquired that currency. And so because of that, that's the type of man that you do want to marry. That's the type of man that you can trust to lead you. You cannot trust a man that just sits at home all day playing fucking 2K with Cheeto dust on his fingers to lead you and your family. You know where men like that lead you and your family? To fucking poverty. And that is why you see so many single mothers left in poverty, because they didn't choose their partner correctly. So yes, you still need to marry rich and be rich, because the man, somebody said this to me the other day and it really stuck with me. Your husband and the man that you decide to spend the rest of your life with, that is the only family member that you get to choose. So you need to choose wisely. And before you can choose wisely, you have to be wise with your own decisions and how you decide to lead yourself. Before you can let a man lead you, you must first lead yourself so that you know and that you have discernment on where you are going and where that man can or cannot take you. So I know that everything I'm saying, it's way easier said than done. And a lot of times whenever you are dealing with men that do have money, a lot of times they won't like the fact that you do have money. There's like a trend going on. I don't really know if it's a trend, but it's kind of like an idea or a concept that women who make their own money are masculine. And I think that is absolutely false. I think that women that make their own money are not masculine. It's just the man that is questioning their femininity is feminine himself. He is too insecure that he is threatened by how much money the other woman makes. My man does not ever view me as masculine. And the reason being is because, number one, he makes way more money than I do. And number two, I'm extremely feminine around him. Yes, I mean, in business and making money, there are times where, I got to tap into my fucking inner dog, like how I talk to you guys. But whenever I am with my man, I am a pretty little princess. And the reason I want to bring this up is because back whenever I lived in Miami, I live in Miami. Back whenever I was poor as shit and I had a roommate, okay? My roommate was this perfect fairy princess, beautiful girl, by the way. And I made like twice as much money as she made. And we would always go out with, her guy friends and things like that. And there was one time where she told me that I had to, she didn't say dumb myself down, but that I shouldn't talk business, or that I shouldn't talk about what I do, or that I shouldn't talk about making money and all of my different concepts and ideas. And she said that I shouldn't talk about those things because since I do make a lot of money, then other men would be turned off by it. And at the time, I listened to her because I didn't know any better. I had just moved to Miami. This girl had been living in Miami for longer than I have. I don't know how long. And I was like, oh, okay, so men don't like it whenever you make your own money. And I listened to her and I followed that. So then I started, dumbing myself down and bringing myself to a lower level than what I was so that I could appeal to more men. And it wasn't until one of my hometown friends came and saw me and they were like, Alexis, what are you doing? The right man for you will never be intimidated by what's in your bank account. The right man for you will help you build. And that's absolutely what happened. That's what happened with my partner now. Will has helped me build. Whenever Will and I first started dating, I was making like well over 6 figures. And now that we are together and we've been locked in and we are getting engaged soon, now I've made well over 7 figures. And it's because he didn't shoot my dreams down, but he encouraged me and encouraged them. So for topic number 2 about what do you do if your man doesn't allow you to chase your purpose? What do you do if your man doesn't allow you to make money? This is what I say. Men that don't want their women to chase their purpose and men that don't want their women to make money have the fucking smallest dick compared to all the other men out there. Your dick is so small that you are afraid that I would dream so big that I will end up leaving you. You're absolutely right. Of course I'm going to leave you if you let me chase my purpose, because you want me to chase nothing else but your penis. So for the men that make you play small, the men that say, babe, like just stay home, just stay home, watch the kids, clean the house, cook the dinner, those are not the men that you want to be with. Now, to make a disclaimer, if you are a woman that like you know your purpose is to be a homemaker, you know your purpose is to be in the house, be in the kitchen, be with the kids. Like if that is your sole purpose, then that's great. And I really do hope that you find a man that fuels that purpose. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is wrong is the men that don't allow their women to go beyond the household. Men that don't lead their women into different levels of life. Men that only lead their women into the kitchen, into the fucking playroom, into the fucking bathroom, to fucking scrub the toilets. You are the scum on this earth, and you are nothing without your money. And guess what? Money comes and goes. But your values and who you are when you go to bed, who you are when you look yourself in the mirror, that shit sticks, bro. So if you are a man that doesn't allow their women to chase their dreams and their purpose, she is going to chase other men. She's going to cheat on your ass because you are no longer fulfilling her. You think you're fulfilling her by filling her pockets. If she meets another man that sparks that creative side of her, because women are so creative. Women are freaking amazing. Women are beautiful creatures. And we are worth so much more than just cooking and cleaning at home. But for the men that, because men are fucking sneaky, bro. Men are tricky as shit. They're going to tell you, oh, babe, like, I don't want you to work. Like, I want you to be able to stay home. And if that's what you want to do, then cool, do it. But if that's not what you want to do, if you're like, no, I really want to run this Pilates studio. No, I really want to open up a coffee shop. No, I really want to be able to speak on stage. And I really want to be able to be a woman of influence. For the men that try to frame it as if they are protecting you from dealing with all the business stress and dealing with all of the worldly stress, they're not protecting you. They're protecting their ego. And it's because they know you're beautiful, you're intelligent, and they're afraid that if they continue to fuel that, you will get your ass up and you will leave them, as you should. Because a man that doesn't allow you to be the woman that you truly want to be, if he is not funding the woman that you want to be, if he is not fueling to your fire, he's dragging you out. He's pouring water on your flame. You want to be this huge fucking like flame and fire, and you have so much potential to do all of those things, but the wrong partner and the wrong man will put that light out immediately. Actually, no, he won't put it out immediately. He'll put it out over time. And what he'll end up doing is you'll tell him all your dreams. You'll tell him all your ambitions. He will keep on leading you into different directions. He will keep on saying, oh, cool. Like, well, that's great. What are the kids up to? Oh, cool. Well, that's great. Well, what about that home renovation that you wanted to do? That's what it sounds like. So slowly over time, you stop bringing your amazing ideas to him because now you feel like he's not listening anymore. And he's not. because he wants you to forget about them, because he only wants you to think of him. My head, I'm not actually going to expose who said this, but somebody in this room just said, God forbid a man wants to keep his wife in his feminine energy. Sucking your dick all day doesn't make my energy more feminine. What makes my energy more feminine is fueling my passions. It's following my passions. It's doing the things that I want to do. So then I'm happy. And then when you come home from work and you come home from fighting that war, I'm happy to suck your dick because I was able to do the things that I wanted to do. Feminine energy has nothing to do with how much money you make or lack thereof. Feminine energy has nothing to do with how submissive you are or anything. Like, feminine energy comes from the fact that you feel safe with your man. And so if you are having to tap into your more masculine side with your man, it's not your fault, babe. Women that are masculine around, oh, this is fucking good. Oh, I'm fucking cooking because this is so fucking true. If a woman is acting masculine with you as a man, women are only masculine with men that we feel cannot lead us. Women are only masculine with men that we are not confident in leading. Or does that make sense? You guys are over here dicking around. What I'm trying to say is, like, the reason why women have to be masculine around men is because they feel like the man is too pussy for anything. So they have to put the pants on. If the woman is wearing the pants in the relationship, it is because she doesn't trust the man to. She doesn't trust the man to lead her. And so if you feel like a woman is bossing you around, or if you feel like a woman is big dick energying you, she probably is, and it's because she doesn't trust your judgment. But is that her fault? Or is it yours? And so if you're with a woman and she does feel too masculine, it's because your balls aren't big enough. It has nothing to do with her. Being a stay-at-home queen is absolutely fine if that is your choice, if that is what you want, if that is within your purpose. Where it becomes wrong and where it is no longer good for you is if the man is forcing you to doing something that you don't want to do. You see, secure men will never be threatened by your ambition. Matter of fact, they would encourage it. They would empower you to chasing your dreams. The right man will tell you the right things to do to get you in the right position. Not just in the bedroom, babe, but in life itself. You see, weak men don't want you to work because they're afraid that if you do, you make your own money, you will end up leading them. But it is the strong men that allow you to do what you want and that allow you to decide what you want. And at the end of the day, we'll still choose them no matter what. If at any point during this episode you felt as if I were attacking you, I'm not attacking you. I am simply attacking the woman that you once were. I am attacking the woman that you don't even want to be anymore. And that bitch has to die anyway. So you're welcome. I fucking killed her in this episode. But I believe that is enough chaos for episode 1. And if I'm not canceled by next week, I have a lot more in store for you. I am going to chat with you guys about how to stay sane and sexy and secure, but also subordinate during the holiday season. I absolutely love alliteration. But all right, babes. If this episode slapped you in the face with the truth that you needed to hear, make sure you like, subscribe, send this to a friend that needed to hear this shit. Send it to your fucking self. But no, comment down below what your biggest takeaway was, because I want to know how this episode helped you. Or if you want to say, fuck you, Alexis, you have absolutely no idea what you're saying, let me know that too. We love that. Increase my engagement, bitch. But comment below what other topics you guys would like to hear me run my mouth about. I read all of my comments, and I would absolutely love to have either more supporters or more haters, whichever one. You both help me out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Her Last Podcast. This is not going to be my last, and I will see you next week.